Going on, people? Welcome to Spoiler Alert. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Brian Munjoma.
Oh yeah, I'm here. What's up, people?
Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people?
And as you saw from the fancy graphic, we are spoiling the shit out of The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies.
The Battle of Five Armies.
Kind of interesting how this is the first time we're doing a spoiler alert, spoiler cast, whatever, for this trilogy. It's the last movie, and we're just now doing it. Very interesting.
You know, it's kind of a weird thing. The movies kind of came at weird times where we either, because you usually wouldn't do them if all of us didn't see it or there wasn't enough people to have seen them filmed. So that's kind of what happened with the two other films. We're just kind of like, or whatever.
Yeah, and to be honest, like with the last movie, it was like I was like leaving SCF to play, like I'm done.
Yeah.
Out. And I don't know what happened. I think I may have reviewed the first one on SCF to play. I really don't remember.
Yeah, we didn't start doing the spoiler alerts until maybe
Iron Man 3, I remember.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 was the first.
Iron Man 3 was the first spoiler cast. That's true.
Yes.
First spoiler alert was Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah, Hobbit. This is one of our non-superhero fucking spoiler alerts. They all seem to be about superhero movies. This is not one of them.
You know, and it was also, we were supposed to do the Planet of the Apes, but again, one of those things that happened where, you know, one of us got to see it and one of us didn't, so it was just like, all right.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened with Interstellar. I guess we just
again, we kind of saw it all at different times, and then at the point that I saw it, it was already too late, and you had seen it first.
Yeah.
And Brian, did you see Interstellar?
Nope, still haven't yet.
See, there you go. So it was, you know, you at least want to have more than two people.
And we usually do superhero movies because all of us go see those.
Yes,
without exception. And if they're Marvel movies, Brian sees them like 3 months before anybody else.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right. So yeah. Anyway, Hobbit. The third one. Finishes out the whole trilogy. I told Manius after the movie, he's like, yo, that was the extended edition of the book because it added all this shit. And
there was a lot of stuff that was added into that thing.
Yeah, and this one was just like, unlike the last two movies, it was pretty much just focused in one spot, like the Erebor mountain and stuff. Manny, start us off because you had some thoughts about the intro.
Oh yeah, you know, I feel like the intro of the film, it just felt a little bit like, you know, there was so much importance to Smaug the dragon, and then to just kind of get killed off in the first 30 minutes of the film or something like that. It felt a little bit kind of cheaped out. I feel almost they should have just ended the Smaug thing at the end of the other film, and then went with whatever the repercussions of what happened was, you know.
Yeah, like I told you, they needed to have that James Bond moment. That's why they started off like that.
Yeah, I mean, because after that, there's all this other setup now. It's like, oh, well, the armies are coming. There's an army here coming. And then, you know, back to Gandalf and his other adventure. You know, because if you guys ever read the book, there's a point where Gandalf kind of leaves. He kind of leaves the story, and you're like, okay, so why? You know, this would be a good chance to have a wizard. No, he shows up at the end.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so now we know. Now we know what he was doing. He was having some Sauron action.
Yeah, he was setting up the Lord of the Rings essentially. That
he was busy.
Not in there at all, man.
Excuse me while I set up the Lord of the Rings right now. It was good to see Christopher Lee doing some funky like kung fu action. He's like slapping all those ghosts around.
But yeah, but the thing that I found funny about the intro was like, because in the book it was a big deal that Bard killed the dragon because he did save the town. By the time Bard killed the dragon, the town was already destroyed. Like there was nothing left. It was insane.
In the books, it was set up where he actually did save Lake Town, and what they did in this one to get them into the action, they put them in Barad-dûr or whatever the hell that place is, right next to the mountain, so that it would get them into the action. Because in the books, it was just like Bard, after all that happened, and Thorin and the other guys were inside of the mountain. He goes over there. He's like, "Hey, remember when you guys owe us, so give us some money, give us a little bit of that." And he's like, "No." So it just didn't have. They wanted to give you a little bit more danger, and you also think about it, like, he shows up with like an army of like like it looked maybe, I guess in the books, I guess it was like some sort of a real army. But in this, you can see that it was just a bunch of people from the town, a bunch of people with arrows and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, let's try to do too many comparisons, but it's just interesting. But yeah, that whole sequence was still cool though, even though it probably should have been at the end of it. You know,
Yeah.
And then he killed him with what I call the dragon harpoon. You know, he had his kid up there and stuff.
It's like it's okay because they set up the arrow. They're like he shot an arrow into and it's like okay, you think in the books it's like an arrow. It's just like you just take an arrow and shoot it. No, it's a fucking harpoon.
It's a dragon harpoon.
And it had like a big crossbow, as I remember, like what they showed in the other town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting, but I did like the fact that Smaug got to talk. I always like him talking, you know, talking shit, especially. Like,
Yeah, he didn't.
Your child, he will burn.
He did not say any of that in the books.
Yeah.
Or in the Rankin Bass thing. He just flew over to the town and like, kill you people, and then.
No, but I was like, you got to give us something, man. You got Cumberbatch is like, you got to give us something. So I'm glad he went there and talked shit. And by the way, one of those movie moments again is like, what's her face was on the boat with the dwarves, and they just kept bypassing all the destruction, like just
they have what we call main character powers.
Yeah, they have a force field around them and stuff. They can't be.
It's like being on a Pirates of the Caribbean ride. You know, all this action and shit is happening around you, but it never actually affects you. You know,
yeah, it's like, dude, everyone's burning around you, man.
In Pirates of the Caribbean, you literally float your boat through a war that's happening on two giant ships. That's the way it starts. Nothing's happening to you. You're watching it. It's like, oh.
Yeah, but then, go ahead, Brian.
No, I don't have to say.
Okay, but yeah, and obviously, you know, what happens is the dragon dies, so now the dragon isn't in the mountain anymore. There's a bunch of treasure there. Everybody wants the treasure because that's what happens, you know. And everybody, you know, lays a claim. Like the humans, they were like, "Hey, listen, the fucking dragon just destroyed our town. We just want to take money so we can rebuild everything."
And also, Thorin made a deal with them. He did.
You know,
hey, you know, you get me over there, I give you some treasure.
Yeah, but then he was like, "This is my treasure." Like, it's funny. The Arkenstone was essentially like the ring in this movie. You know, it like corrupted and stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't really the Arkenstone. It was also some sort of disease.
The dragon. Yeah, what was that about? The dragon disease or something?
Yeah,
I guess
they were saying greediness. You just maybe somehow you get greedy from dragon treasure. I don't know what that.
Maybe it was just like a symbolism for just greed, for like greed in general. It's like no matter who you are, you're still greedy. Like, yeah, I think that's what they were aiming for when Thorin did that line where he sounded exactly like Smaug. It's like, okay, like regardless of what race you are, like greed is still greed and it corrupts you.
Yeah, but I also felt like he was a little bit crazy though. He just somehow got a little bit kooky, like, and they said even his father kind of went insane. Yeah,
because of the greed and stuff. And so, but you kind of saw that coming though. Like they were setting that up since the last movie.
And also, I think in the Silmarillion, don't they mention the Arkenstone being somewhat about as bad as the?
No, the Arkenstone was not in that book. They had some.
No, but I remember they
said Silmarils in that.
Something said that the Arkenstone is one of those things that those like kind of things that are about as powerful as the ring, and it can corrupt you too.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like a little bit of that going on.
Good thing you gave it to Bilbo because he doesn't get corrupted. He had both two fucking cursed things in his pockets. It's like, I'm good. What's up with you guys?
Cool, man, I'm cool.
He's like, here, have this cursed sword. No problem, I got it.
Yeah, Bilbo's still the man though. Like, remember, like the elf dude, like the king. He was like, if you see anything move, shoot it. Bilbo just fucking snuck by him. It's like, damn.
Well, yeah, you know the thing is, he didn't. I was figuring that he put on his ring and just kind of boop 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 go in, or he just did it on his own.
No,
yeah, you're like, damn.
He didn't wear the ring. He just left.
But I don't remember. I remember at least from before. I don't remember him leaving from the front when he left to talk to those guys.
No, in this movie, it was clear he went through the front. You know?
No. But I mean, yeah, like in the other one, I think in the book, he came out to the back somewhere to talk to Gandalf and all those guys about that stuff.
No, they had to make him more badass. You know.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going out the front. Nobody saw me.
But yeah, he obviously did that because he saw that oaken shield. He was like being corrupted by this stuff, and he figured, hey, maybe if we offer him this, he'll like settle down. But that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also, again, we keep going back to the book. That's also what happened to Oakenshield. He got fucked up somehow, just having it, finally getting it, and he's just like,
yeah. And hold on, because I wasn't clear. Why did the orcs want the mountain again? They wanted it for Sauron, apparently, right?
Yeah. Well, the way they set it up in this is that it's a perfect staging point for something.
Yeah. For the oncoming war or whatever.
For the oncoming war, which is about to happen in like 50 years.
Yeah. You know what? Let's get into that before we get into the main meat of this. The whole Sauron thing, because Manny, I know you had some problems with this initially.
I had a couple of problems initially because I'm like, all right, so in Lord of the Rings, they're all like, oh, who the Dark One comes, and they're all afraid of him, right? Mm-hmm. But and I'm like, dude, you act like you didn't meet him. You just met him like maybe 50 years ago. So what's the surprise? You knew he'd be back. So it was in this one the way they kind of banished him. They're like, oh well, we banished what's her face did her magic, and literally banished him because he didn't have his ring. And it's like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's part of what will make him corporeal. It's the ring. Him in combination with the ring would make him come back, as opposed to just like,
Yeah, he can't just come back willy-nilly.
He can't just come back. He needs the damn ring. So there was like, all right, we beat him for now. It's like, all right, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah, and then they had a crazy fight with the Nazgul, but they weren't Nazgul just yet. They were just like these holograms, as I call them.
Or ghosts.
They were ghosts. I call them ghost holograms.
I like that they actually had designs for the Nazgul this time. Like you've only seen one of them in his ghost form, and that was the leader of the Nazgul, who was that king, right?
They were all kings, though.
No, but I mean, like, the main leader of them, I forget, the one who rode the dragon. Like,
yeah,
he was the only one that they actually saw. Like, there's only a couple that they saw with their actual when Bilbo would Frodo put the ring on, and he actually saw one of them without his cloak on, and he was just old man. So it's kind of cool that all of them actually had little suits and stuff that they were wearing. They had some cool-looking designed suits.
Yeah, I like that. And then, because they were all like kings and stuff, so they needed to look cool. Now, you notice how the front of them was more defined than the back. Like the back was like more transparent and stuff, and the front of them was. I thought that was cool. But and when they came out, you couldn't tell if they were like corporeal now. But then, of course, they got into the big action scene, and they obviously were. Elrond showed up for some reason.
Yeah,
Sauron showed up.
The council. I call them the count. It's the council of Elrond shows up.
Yeah, exactly. Saruman's in there kicking ass. I'm like, dude, when you get like actiony, when you learn kung fu.
Yeah, he did. They kind of did a little bit of kung fu-y stuff in the original, in the first Hobbit film, like flipping around. Like you remember, like freaking Gandalf would flick Saruman, and he'd go flipping around like a kung fu movie. I liked how sneakily they hid the fact that it's not Christopher Lee. Like the guy's spinning around and doing all this shit, and then he just has one of those shots where he goes. And you see, oh, it's him.
Yeah, Christopher Lee ain't doing that shit.
This guy's like 80 years old.
Exactly.
He's almost 90. He moves real good.
Like, listen, he only has the power to make metal albums now. That's it.
I have the power to make metal. Yes. Have you guys? Yeah, for all you guys out there, apparently Christopher Lee made a heavy metal Christmas album. It's called, what is it? Christmas Hell or something like that? Or something like that?
Not surprising, by the way, because in like the mid-2000s, he released an album with this band called Rhapsody. Me and Manny are big fans of that album. And all of a sudden, I guess the itch was born in him. I want to do metal now.
I want to do metal now.
By the way, fun fact about Christopher Lee, Manny, tell me what you told me after the movie.
Oh, Christopher Lee used to be part of the British Secret Service during the war. And apparently he has all these... He has all this... the stuff that he did during World War II that is classified, like all these secret missions that he did that when it was classified. And apparently, like there was one point in the other Hobbit films where he gets stabbed by Wormtongue, and
Lord of the Rings movies.
In the Lord of the Rings, it was the last one, I guess.
Yeah.
And then he gets stabbed in the back by Wormtongue, and then Peter Jackson goes, "Oh yeah," and then you scream when you get stabbed, and he goes, "No, Peter. You don't scream when you get stabbed in the back. And you're like, wait a minute. And they're like, wait a minute. Did he actually stab someone in the back at some point?
He may have, all that stuff is classified. I just find that interesting.
Him and his, I think, did you know also that Christopher Lee is related to Ian Fleming?
Oh, really?
The guy who created James Bond.
Oh, yes, I was related to him.
And both of them were actually part of, like, not British Secret Service, but they were performing secret missions for the British Army. And both of them have these kind of hidden past that hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but yeah, like you said after the movie, it's like, hey, you're happy Christopher Lee lived to do all these movies.
I was happy to see him because I love Christopher Lee, from all the Hammer films and stuff, and I'm definitely sure that Peter Jackson was like, I want to have this guy, and I'm sure if he could, he probably would have had Peter Cushing in there too. Peter Cushing was Governor Tolkien in Star Wars.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, that whole big scene happened. But that's what happened. Like Galadriel got like these weirdo powers, and she just pushed freaking Sauron back.
It's weird. She looked like she had like a bottle of like hand sanitizer, just like. It's like all of a sudden she was that weird old thing that she turned into when in the first the Fellowship of the Ring. She was like, in the place of me, you'll have a queen, not dark but beautiful, and she's all like, ugh. I'm like, all right, so she used her old power.
She used her crazy power. That bitch is nuts, man.
Yeah, she's got. I think she's got split personality disorder. One is that her normal self, and then the other side is her angry, crazy self. Her angry self.
Yeah.
Isn't that like every woman that has like a split personality, but like one time they're nice and the next second they're not nice? Or is that just me?
So was that her? Yeah. Was that Galadriel's time of the month?
No, I didn't say that.
Galadriel doesn't have a middle voice. As she's either like, we must go. She's either whispering or not dark but beautiful. It's like, damn, bitch.
It was cool. I mean, here's the one issue I found with that part. It's like those three showed up to save Gandalf. They figured out he was there. I mean, because I'm guessing that don't
forget about my man Radagast.
Radagast probably went, oh yeah, and told him that he was there. And then it's like they didn't show up with any cool armies. It's just them. It's like the X-Men.
Maybe they need to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got Elrond and freaking Saruman.
Is Galadriel supposed to be more powerful than Gandalf?
She shouldn't be. She's not a wizard. She's technically under him as far as power goes.
Maybe that's what that little flask of shit was. It was like, ooh.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like you have the Valar, right? They're directly above, they're the highest. They're the gods, essentially. Then you have the Maiar, right? That's where Sauron and Gandalf are. Then under that, you have the elves. So yeah, she's not supposed to be more powerful than him. Like, you consider Gandalf like a demigod, kind of,
Yeah, I don't know. I guess somehow she whatever she had in that vial was able to get. It could have been that stuff. What was it? The one that they said that would light the way in the Fellowship? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, I forgot the name of that.
Whatever that stuff was that they used inside of Shelob's spider
cave.
Yeah, it looked like she had that glass in her hand.
Yeah, Radagast is Doctor Who, right?
Yes, Radagast is the which Doctor? He would be the 7th Doctor, I think.
Look it up, people. Google.
Because what was what's his face? What was Destro?
Destro was like 8, I think.
He was the
9. No, hold on. Matt Smith was the 12th one, right? Or is that the new guy? We're getting off track here.
Yes.
Anyways, he was Doctor Who. So it's nice to have him in something now. So yeah,
that's also Peter Jackson. Well, that was one of Peter Jackson's favorite doctors. He actually owns that guy's outfit. Really? He was the Doctor because he was one of the fan favorite doctors. That guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but he had his bunny sleigh and stuff, which I thought was fun.
Bunny sleigh.
I don't know how he got up that mountain though.
It's magic.
Yeah, magic bunny sleigh.
just like how he doesn't clean the poop from his head. From the bird's nest in his hair.
But yeah, and then there was that other scene I want to just briefly talk on where it was like, what's his face, Orlando Bloom and what's her face from Lost going to like the north or something to look at the army. That scene was like kind of unnecessary to me.
It was, you know what it was? It was just to get them. It was to get them out of the way so that so they wouldn't get into the big army shit, and also show you what else is coming. That's all that was really there too. He strategically worked these guys out of certain things so that they would be there for certain other things.
Yeah, Peter Jackson did, right?
Yeah. So it's like, because if you think about it, if her and Legolas were at the big army, the big war, they'd be whipping ass.
Yeah, especially Legolas. We'll talk about that in a bit. Holy shit, man! Fucking I'll talk about turn into a video game.
I always, I've always liked the character Bard, because it's like he's not a dude. He's not some special dude. He's not fucking Aragorn. He doesn't have he doesn't live forever. He's just the normal dude. He doesn't have the blood of the Numenor. He doesn't have the blood of the Numenor, so which means he doesn't live forever. So he's just some normal dude trying to protect his town. So I'm cool with that guy.
Yeah, he's cool. I liked him. Shout out to Dracula.
He wasn't Dracula when he started.
Wasn't Dracula, I know. He was a good Dracula. I liked him.
He was the villain in Fast and Furious 6, though.
Oh boy!
I swear, he looks like Orlando Bloom the way Orlando Bloom looked like in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Like it looks like. Well, I remember when they first showed them together in the second one. I was like, oh my god, it's like Orlando Bloom is talking to himself from a different movie.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, they have minorities in Middle Earth now. I saw an Asian woman.
Yeah, there was an Asian woman in the Lax film. There was a black lady inside of Rivertown. So
yeah,
all right,
so,
sure.
There you go, diversified. They're all supposed to be white people, but it's 2014. Got to mix it up now.
All of Hobbiton is white people, so.
Yeah, exactly. Hobbiton. So yeah, then let's move on to the actual battle itself. Obviously, you had the elves there. They wanted. I mean, did the king just want that thing?
He just wanted the jewels.
Yeah, he just wanted the jewels. There was just something in there that he wanted. I always thought it was the Arkenstone that he was after.
Nah, he wanted that necklace thingy, according to this at least, and then the humans wanted. They just wanted enough to rebuild, and the dwarves were like, "No, this shit is all ours."
Which I could totally understand. It's like, well, dude, you promised us that you'd give us some money, so it's like, our fucking town just got burned. And it's all your fucking fault. You woke up the goddamn dragon.
Plus, like, he had enough gold in there to cover a sleeping dragon. So you think that maybe 3 or 4 bucket loads would be enough to build a town.
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me thinking.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's like, dude, literally 3 buckets loads. That's it. How about a card or 2 and you're fine,
to cover a sleeping dragon. That's a shit ton of gold.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's true, but obviously what happened? Yeah, the dragon greed or whatever the fuck it got to him. So he was basically it's like I'm watching that scene. I'm like, dude, you don't even sound logical now. You're reneging on your fucking deal. You flat out told him, I will give you money after we get that fucking dragon.
In the book, as I remember, they actually do get involved in the whole fight. But again, what they did was they tried to prolong things. So they was like, all right, so when does he jump in? Oh, now he jumps in. He got to his senses and he jumped in. Really, it was really what happened. He was out of his mind, but he wasn't out of his mind to where he would abandon his own people.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, going back, I wanted them to kill that one asshole human way earlier on. That guy annoyed the shit out of me. That sleazy dude, with the fucked up teeth. I was like, kill this guy already, man.
He lives.
God damn it.
He lives.
That guy was a dick, man. He was dressed up as a woman. And he had his tits made out of gold and stuff.
Again, another bit of business which wasn't actually in the books.
I didn't like the guy.
The whole thing with the corrupt king of Lake Town and his little chambermaid or whatever the fuck that guy was. that shit did not happen. Those guys were cool. Bard was cool. The whole town didn't think Bard was a fucking fraud.
I wonder what they're gonna do with Smaug's body. Obviously not gonna address that.
I think as far as it's concerned, they can just leave that shit there.
Yo, man, that's meat.
What are you gonna do? You clean that? How do you clean that up? I mean, they barely had enough. They look like they just barely got out of Lake Town.
No, I mean it's still in the lake, but I'm like I don't know, maybe dig it up and eat it or something. I don't know. I'm being.
I don't know. Maybe dragon. I don't know. Dragon meat's any good.
They will get the power of the dragon.
And then we're going into another film now.
Yes.
All they need to do is just swap out their hearts, and then voila, dragon powers.
There you go. That's how it works,
like
people.
Dragons, because that's how it works, right? Yeah, you just swap your heart out like a dragon heart, and you're sorted, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No. You know what I was also going to say? The town that Bard takes his people to, that town gets fucked again later on when fucking Sauron comes around with the Uruk-hai. I'm like, man, those guys don't get a break.
No.
Well, it's at the same town though, because like
it's the same town.
It is, right?
Yeah. It gets fucked up. Like they show it getting attacked by the Uruk-hai earlier on in the Fellowship. I'm like,
man,
that sucks.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when we're watching the movie, Manny just leans over and be like, "Dude, these people don't get a break, man."
Yeah, they don't get a break. It's like their fucking town gets burned down by a dragon and sinks, and then all of a sudden, they move into a new place. They fix that shit up, and then 50 years later, here comes Sauron blowing shit up again.
And then that was actually the same town they were attacked by Smaug in like the first film as well. So
yeah, exactly.
They get like triple fucked.
So it's like they moved to the
That's true.
They moved into the lake because they're for whatever reason.
Because of Smaug's fire. And then they moved away from the lake because of Smaug's fire.
Obviously, it didn't make much of a difference because.
And it's like, okay, Smaug is finally dead. We're gonna be in peace, and then Sauron comes in.
Like, oh god.
Oh man, yeah, those people do not get a break. But yeah, obviously, like the first part of the war was going to be the dwarves and the elves, right, and the humans, and then. But before that even starts, by the way, I liked Thorin's cousin. That guy was funny to me. He had like those. Yes.
Yeah.
That guy was funny.
He was played by Billy Connolly, a very famous Scottish actor. No, I recognized his voice straight away. I'm like, that's Billy Connolly. I don't need to know like anything else. I just recognize his accent and his voice straight away.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it showed. Yeah. Where's he from? What has he done?
He's a Scottish comedian / actor. So
yeah.
I don't know the last thing he's done, but he's done like a whole bunch of like stand up and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know Billy Connolly. I knew that they were going to pick somebody who was a little bit of a heavy to play that kind of small role. So, but I'm glad that they picked him. He's pretty good.
Yeah, for me it was cool because I always you've seen individual dwarves fighting, but I always wanted to see what dwarven armies actually fight like. Mm-hmm. And I guess they fight the way I would imagine them, very rigid kind of structure and stuff, all with their big ass hammers and stuff. Especially that Billy Connolly, that guy was awesome. And
for those of you who don't remember, one film that Billy Connolly was in was Boondock Saints. He was that badass old guy with the guns. Have you ever seen that film?
Yeah, there's a couple of people watching right now. Like,
he was like this badass assassin, like this badass Scottish assassin guy.
Yeah, one thing that I thought was cool, like the instant the orcs came out, like both armies kind of came together really nicely too. You notice that? And like they just fought the orcs, like like the dwarves, they got into like the phalanx formation, and all of a sudden the elves jumped over them, and so I'm like, okay, this is fucking cool, man. And then the other thing, and Manny explained this to me afterwards, even though it's a cheap explanation, I'm like, hold on. Okay, I could understand the Uruk-hai are fine during the day. How the fuck are normal orcs and goblins out during the day? Manny's like, oh, it was cloudy that day. I'm like, okay, I guess that's it.
Most of that sequence, it's all cloudy, so...
Yeah, because remember, even in the first movie, they established they can't go out during the day. They turn to stone or whatever. You know?
But they never. I think they never said that there was. I think one of the things is that if it's cloudy, it's okay. It's all good. It's good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Science.
Yeah, magic. I don't know. Whatever.
Though Tony pointed out there were guys in there that looked like Uruk-hai.
Yeah, like the main dude was an Uruk-hai. Most of the generals are Uruk-hai. I'm fresh off of Mordor, man. I know Uruk-hai now. And Brian, that's what I want to talk to you about. Like, as a guy who's been playing a lot of Shadow of Mordor, how much did it please you to see all these like Uruk-hai with the crazy names and things on their faces and all that shit?
All I'm saying is that I played Shadow of Mordor, and then weeks later I went and rewatched Desolation of Smaug, and then when they said Azog the Defiler, I'm like, have I fought against him yet?
Yeah, whenever saying all those names, because it's always like a name plus a description.
Something.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I was watching this. I'm like, hey, wait a minute, did I fight that guy? Because he fits perfectly.
No,
and of course all the damn beheadings. It's like, oh, beheadings. I remember those.
Yes.
Yes.
But
literally, that elf guy with his friggin' elk. He literally grabbed like 5 urukai and just.
Like 7.
Yeah, it was like 7 on each
of the front end of his elk there and chopped all their heads off. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And I'm fresh. I'm actually fresh. I'm still playing Dragon Age, right? So that's still stuck in my mind too. I'm like, he's riding on top of a big holla. That's essentially what it is. You know, you got the dwarves there and stuff. It was great, man. But yeah, off of fucking Shadow of Mordor, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. Like, I wonder if that guy's in the game. You know, because they all fit those big general dudes.
I doubt they do, but I think they definitely think that they used like an orc Bible from the thing.
Yes, because you notice that like they did this in the game too. A lot of orcs or urukai had armor that was like embedded into their skin.
Yeah, like the replacement bad guy from the second film. Because remember they switched out. They switched out.
That was his son. Oh.
Yeah, that was Azog's son. I don't know how that works.
What they did was like they switched them out though, because like they made him go back to frickin' to the necromancer for a little bit, and then they had that other guy attacking Lake Town.
Yeah, Necromancer Sauron.
Necromancer Sauron.
You don't know.
Necromancer. I've never heard of Necromancer. And then I was like, oh wait, this is where the extended edition begins.
Yeah, and then speaking about, we were talking about freaking Shadow of Mordor video game. This movie got very video gamey towards the end, especially when Legolas showed up. I'm like, dude.
Oh yeah, it became the Legolas action show.
It's like Legolas shows up. You know some shit's gonna go down.
Every single Lord of the Rings film, ever since the Fellowship. Oh no, not the Fellowship. Since the Two Towers, where he did that little flippy dippy thing onto his horse. Now every single thing has to top the last one. So now he's like fucking jumping on orcs and he's knocking them over. He's jumping to some other guy. It's like he's a friggin' stone like pillar was falling over. It fell over like and made a bridge. Parts of it are falling off and he's literally running up the falling parts.
That part was fucking ridiculous. You know the first thing that I thought about that scene? It's like, you're not Raiden. You can't do that. Like, Raiden gets away with it because he's Japanese. You don't. You know?
Obviously, he went and got and then after seeing all of that, I'm like, and why haven't they made a God of War film? Literally, he was
Kratos. Like, okay, he gets on a harpy essentially. He's riding it around. Then he rides on top of like a gimpy fucking ogre, And then I pointed this out to Manny, dude. He was an archer, a warrior, and a rogue within a span of 3 minutes. He goes from shooting arrows to fucking around with a sword, and then he gets daggers. I'm like, damn, dude. And he's doing this on a crumbling bridge.
Yeah.
Well, because that bridge scene.
He had to give Thorin his sword back, because remember he took
Thorin,
he took that big sword that he got from those 2 other trolls, right? So he had to give that back to him at the end. So he
gave it back to him by throwing it into the chest of that one dude. But Brian, what were you gonna say about the bridge scene?
Can we just talk about the bridge scene and how ridiculously stupid it was,
But it was stupidly awesome.
I'm not disagreeing with that. It was an awesome scene, but it's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, stupidly awesome.
Have a bridge and have people falling through part of the bridge and still have it structurally intact. Like, that's not how things work. That's why the whole time it's like, okay, it's going to fall apart now. Okay, it's going to fall apart now. It's going to fall apart now. Okay, it's falling apart now, so it's going to fall apart now. Like, Jesus, this bridge does not want to fall apart.
Yeah, and it was crumbling the entire time.
Yeah, like literally they were
How many bricks were in this thing?
Literally, like Legolas falls through one part of it, like, and almost falls to the bottom, and the other guy falls through part of it. It's like, how many holes can you make in this thing until it falls over?
Yeah, there was one point where, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like Legolas falls, he, like, just uses one of the falling bricks to actually jump on another one. It's like, dude, no, it doesn't work like that. You would just push it further down. It doesn't stay stationary. His
elvish ability also gives him the ability.
Perfect balance.
Gravity.
Yeah, to defy gravity. Like, let me make sure this brick stays in place in the air for just long enough for me to jump off of it.
And also, to go into, like, I remember, and because we didn't have a spoiler for this before, but one thing I talked about, with Tony and a couple of other people who saw the film was like, they were supposed to, the character that fell in love with the girl from Lost, right? First of all, she doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And he was dead by the time they got to Lake Town.
Yeah, Keely, I think his name was.
Him and his brother were both dead by the time they got there.
Yeah, it was like, you have, like, 13 dwarves, kill more of them. It's like, you left too many alive, man.
I think, as I remember, don't quote me on this one, but I think there was about 7 or 6 of them left over after everybody died inside of the war and stuff like that.
Yeah, one of the, that fat guy, he wasn't doing shit. He was behind everybody. By the way, I find it funny when like, because Thorin, obviously, he was like, he had like this crazy moment and stuff where, like, he had to get rid of the disease, I guess. That scene was actually kind of cool. Like, he was like on a floor that was like completely made out of gold and stuff. And
that was from the last film, because remember they dropped that gold statue on there.
But yeah, he came to his senses. But I find it funny, before that scene happened, right? Where they were still crazy. Remember, he was like, get ready. They were all armored up, right, to the teeth. Then when they go outside, they're not armored up anymore. I'm like, wait, no, you're supposed to armor up when you go fight. You don't armor up just while you're chilling.
No, they only armor up when they're allowed to prepare. When they're going to do some action, they're going to wear nothing. They can just wear the same shit they've been wearing.
And it sucks because that dwarf armor was cool as shit, man. I love the design of it. Very rigid and stuff.
I think they still had parts of it, but their heads were open and everything. Like, they had helmets and everything before, and then they kind of just didn't have helmets.
Yeah. But what do you think about that whole scene where, like, Thorin went from crazy to being normal? I like the way they played that off. Like, it felt a little bit rushed, but I still like the way they played that off. What was going on in his head.
I feel like also it's interesting because he kind of starts this film being a little crazy. I feel like we didn't. I mean, they tried to give you a little bit of him being nutty in the other film, but not much. It just seems like as soon as this film started, he just was crazy.
Yeah, but they still had scenes where you saw the old Thorin in there, like when he was talking to Bilbo. Like, he was like, "What's in your hand?" And he had that fucking seed, and
acorn.
Then acorn, and then a little bit of the old Thorin came out. So he wasn't completely lost, but yeah, greed will get you, man. Especially that dragon greed or whatever the fuck that shit was.
Yeah.
But it was cool, and that was cool. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, the dwarves were fighting hard, and then they see their king, then they fight extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
And Thorin is a badass too, man. He had that fight with that fucking sword hand, as I call him. That was nuts.
Again, also really great looking CG effects on those guys. I mean, the motion capture on those guys, it looked really good.
I think the CG in this one was better than the last one, actually, because in the last one it was a little bit weird sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was better.
They have this whole new rigging system which calculates muscle. So they said when you're moving, when the animators are moving the mouths and stuff, they're not actually moving the mouth; they're actually moving the muscles that make the mouth move.
That makes sense.
So it makes perfect sense, but they had to do all this extra physical calculation. So they had to calculate muscle, and then they had to calculate fat and all that shit.
Nice.
That's why they had a couple of those ones that were fat, and their fat is all jiggling around.
Yeah, I like that from the first one, the one that had a cancer and stuff.
Yeah, what's his face, the Troll King.
That was fucking disgusting.
I know that grossed you out. I remember you and I talking about that.
Yeah. But they did a good job. I mean, granted, there was a shitload of effects in this one. It looked like their war was bigger than the war that was in the Return of the King.
Yeah, exactly. That war was supposed to be huger.
That one was supposed to be way bigger. It's because
because it was like 5 armies. And the 5th one was, and I was talking to May about this, and we were like, wait,
the 5th one's
you have the human army, you have the orc army, you have the elven army, you have the dwarven army. What the fuck is the 5th one?
It was the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. Yeah, they're the ones that turned the tide too.
Eagle Ex Machina again.
Yeah, the funny thing.
Yes.
The funny thing also he relegated the Eagles to being the Ex Machina of the film, which they weren't. They were there from the beginning when all the armies were all there, like like jockeying for the mountain, right? the Eagles were there too, and they're like, "Fuck, this is our place."
Yeah, that's the second time Peter Jackson's done that. Because in the last movie, the Return of the King, like, what's his face? He used that ghost army to win the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that in the book. In the book, he used the ghost army to kill all those guys to get all those boats. And then what he did was he brought a bunch of humans with him, and they came in and killed all those guys. It wasn't a ghost army.
Yeah, he didn't use because the thing is that also if you think about it, in the book it was also kind of dumb too. It's like, okay, dude, you had a fucking ghost army. Send the ghost army. They won't die.
Yeah, but it was convenient. So then again, the Eagles come in and like, oh, here we go, Eagles. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and the thing is that they also kind of got rid of all the the talking animals in this. Like in the books, the Eagles were actually part of the negotiation. They're like, "Yeah, this is our place," And the way Bard
that would have been retarded.
It would have been kind of weird. But then again, you're in a magic world. Then there's also the fact that Bard didn't know about the hole in Smaug's belly. In fact, what happened was that Bilbo finds it when he's having that little conversation with him, having the conversation with Smaug. He finally finds it, and then he tells this. The thresh, the bird that leads him to the hidden door, right? And that thing tells fucking Bard.
Yeah, but you can't have a bird just talking to you.
It's like no, it doesn't talk.
A talking dragon is already too much.
It doesn't talk. The thing is, it doesn't really talk to him. It doesn't go, hey, blah blah blah. It kind of whispers, kind of like the way how friggin' Gandalf whispered to the little moth. Yeah. Kind of like that. It kind of goes, and the next time he's like, what? Really? Oh, okay.
They were doing some of that in this movie too, like Radagast and Gandalf and stuff were whispering to each other, and it was just gibberish. Like,
yeah, they're speaking their Lord of the Rings tongue or whatever language they speak in their world.
Yeah, but the Eagles were pretty much the ones that won the day. I mean, after Thorin killed what's his face. By the way, I really like that scene because it was like you knew Thorin was like making him crush the ice around him. And I'm like, yo, man, your battle arena is getting smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. And then he just like grabs the maul and throws it back at him, and then he steps off the ice and the dude falls in there. But he tricked him. You knew he was tricking him too.
Oh yeah, well the thing is that being also again we know the books and stuff. We knew that Thorin Oakenshield was gonna bite it at the end of that.
Yeah, but in the book it just because this is what happened in the book, and I'm kind of glad they changed this because I talked to Manny about this before the books were adapted. I was like, wait. So they're honestly going to have Bilbo get knocked out at the beginning of the fight, and then nothing happens. Like, they had to make him an action guy. So they had same thing with Thorin. Like in the book, when Bilbo came to, Thorin was just dead. We don't know how he died. He just died. He was on his deathbed.
he was on his deathbed, and he obviously he had gotten injured in the big battle. Because again, those two monsters, those two extra Uruk-hai guys, didn't exist in the book, so there was no direct villain. It was just. And because again, all the Sauron stuff wasn't in there either. You just knew that these armies wanted to take over the area.
Yeah, exactly.
So they gave him a villain, and they gave Legolas a villain too, so that they had something to do.
Yeah, so you have a crumbly bridge. But I liked what Thorin did. He essentially sacrificed his life so he could kill this guy because he let him stab him, so he could freaking stab him like harder and stuff. And my favorite scene from there was like. When he stabs him and he goes under the lake, because remember it was like a frozen waterfall, right? But that water is still moving, so you saw the tip of the water get all black and shit from the blood. That was awesome. But yeah, that was a good fight. I mean, the whole movie was just full of fights. It's like one of those movies like I want to watch over again just to see all the madness and stuff.
Yeah, they have the big armies, big army stuff. But yeah, they still managed to get Bilbo knocked out.
Oh yeah.
But of course, they stayed with it. If we were running this the way the book was, because also the book is told somewhat in the first person. So anywhere that Bilbo was, he was able to tell the story. So at that point in the story, I'm sure if he was reading the book, he was like,
here's my question. When Bilbo put the ring on, and he saw, obviously black figures were orcs. So were the white ones elves, or were they just good guys in general? I think
good guys get white.
yeah, I think just good guys in general are white, right?
Yeah, good guys in general are kind of blurry white things.
Yeah. That whole scene was cool. What do you think about the whole I forgot her name, Tariel or whatever. I call her Evangeline Lilly. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I guess they had to shoehorn that little love thing in there.
I hated it.
Yeah, I guess they had to do it.
It's a weird thing.
It was introduced in Destination of Smog, and it didn't conclude there. I'm like, oh shit, this crap's
they're gonna drag it out.
The movie, and it's gonna be lame. I don't know. And I honestly didn't know that those dwarves guys were going to die. So when they did die, after the guy took so long to stab him, I'm like, the dude has metal coming out of every single place, but yet you take an eternity to stab this one guy. What the hell is wrong with you? Just hug him. Some people don't sorted. Come here. He's dead.
That would have been a cooler death, actually, man. Just grab it. Oh man.
But that was obviously love triangle.
I think also it's interesting to say whatever happened to her, in the later Lord of the Rings film, will she just go to some mountain somewhere and cry?
Yeah, she just cried for eternity.
She cries for eternity, and whatever happened to Legolas's father, because he doesn't show up either.
Yeah. By the way, Legolas's father was kind of a badass too, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was a dick, but he was a badass.
Yes. Even when his bride got killed, he just flipped off of it, did a cool 3-point landing and stuff, ready to kick some ass.
Yeah, he had 2 swords. He's killing all those things. It's who needs an army when you got these guys?
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, even though I think, as far as kings that were fighting go, I liked the dwarf guy. He was just hey, how you doing? He's killing dudes behind him while he's having a conversation. That's even more badass. Thorin, how are you? It's fucking great. But yeah, he was cool. Then Gandalf was doing his stuff.
Yeah, he had his fun little stuff where he used his I think he stabbed some guy and then he flipped his staff around and then tripped the guy over and did all kinds of other fun stuff. It's one thing about Gandalf. I always wonder this in these films: where does his hat go when his hat and his staff just disappear when it's convenient? They're there and then they're gone. So it's at that point in the he started that sequence on. He has his little pointy hat on. All of a sudden it's gone and he's got his sword and his staff, and sometimes he doesn't have the staff anymore. It's where'd you get it? Did you just grow a new one?
It's magic, my dear. Is Gandalf gay in the East, by the way? Because Ian, what's his face, is gay.
Gandalf the gay.
Gandalf the gay.
I think the way they seem. Galadriel seems to have an affinity for Gandalf. I think they're in a sideways sort of way alluding to them something.
Yeah,
she likes him.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking that, because I kind of got that too. But I was like, wait, isn't Gandalf gay? But then I was like, no, Ian McKellen is gay, not Gandalf. Dude.
Gandalf is not gay. McKellen is gay. I do think that they were trying to point to a little something between Galadriel
I think so.
and him. But it's not overtly said I love you, and then she's like, I love you, but I have this crazy side.
Yeah. Wild, man. She's wild. And then this is the thing, we talked about this after movie, what happened? So who took over that mountain then? Was it his cousin?
It was the dwarves.
And obviously I'm guessing they gave the humans their fair share or whatever,
Hold on.
So what's up? Are you actually checking it up? Oh, Brian had to split for a minute there.
Yeah.
That's what that was. I was like, what's that noise? So, yeah, I guess they just gave the humans their part. I guess they gave the elves, that little jewel or whatever.
I think the elves kept the Arkenstone. Maybe maybe they decided to give those jewels back to the elves. I don't know. And I'm sure they gave Bard a little something too, because
it would have been nice if they actually had that in there. They added all this extra shit. Why not add that in there too? Just hey, reparations. Obviously the whole war started because they wanted what was in the mountain. Now that the war was over, how do you divvy up what's in there?
Yeah. Who wound up being the king of under the mountain?
Yeah, they don't answer that. They should have answered. They like I said, added all this shit. They don't answer the important stuff. What was all this for?
Mm-hmm. Was it that Gloin took over that?
Gloin? Did he? Maybe.
I don't know.
But again, they should have said it. Just simple. Hey, we gave this dude 3 buckets loads of fucking gold. We gave the elven dude his jewels, and everybody was happily ever after until Sauron came back.
But I also think that in the books they never really resolved that either.
Yeah.
They don't.
But they kind of set it up more in this one, like, you know, that it's being fought over because of the stupid dragon dying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, and then of course that one scene with Legolas and his father was stupid to me. You must find this man named Strider. It's like, really, dude, really? Come on.
As soon as you said that, you must go here and find this man. I'm like, this man? I'm like, oh yeah, he goes by the name of Strider. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and then it's like it's like the people in the wild called him Strider. You will find out what his name is.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, there's here's the thing. Okay, if you've seen these movies, that's a little nod for you, but I'm imagining, what if you've never seen these movies before? You're watching them in order, right? The Hobbit, the second Hobbit, the third one, you're watching the scene. And you hear this, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? And then if you watch it in order, and you're like, oh, they were talking about Aragorn. Why? It was just really, to me, it reminded me of that scene from fucking, God, I'm forgetting it, Troy. Oh, I believe that I will go on a great odyssey. Come on, Odysseus, really? It's stupid.
I will go on an odyssey.
I will go on an odyssey. I will go. How do you know the name of the thing that was named after you? I predict I will go on a great Polancoing. It's like I just made up a name, like Odyssey, dude. Meet your names. Don't get me started.
Odysseus' name isn't Odyssey, though.
No, he said his name is Odysseus, right?
Mm-hmm.
He literally says, I predict I will go on a great odyssey. Dude, they made up that word after you died.
Yes.
It's stupid. So it had that scene like, oh, this is like Troy, you know? And that is why you'll never be remembered in legend. Get the fuck out of here.
Like they knew.
Yeah, like they knew, you know?
But, yeah, I mean, granted with all the extra funky stuff in there, but, I mean, I want to see an edit of this film where it's actually cut to where it's it has everything it's supposed to have in it. I want to see that.
Actually, 2 films.
Can we see a version of this where it doesn't have all the extra stuff and see how that plays? It might be a 3-hour film.
It'll be one movie, dude.
It'll be one movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, and I guess we could wrap it up with this. I personally don't, because a lot of people hate these movies for whatever reason. I liked it because it's Middle Earth. I like seeing that stuff. I know they expanded on it, but it was still entertaining as shit. And there are a few movies that give you that goodness. You know, I fucking love it. You know, I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, they expanded their universe there and stuff.
Well, expanding the universe that doesn't really go anywhere because now it's done. There's not going to probably be any more.
You got 6 movies, which is like literally 24 hours worth of film watching and stuff.
Yeah, so and don't watch the extended cuts of all of them because you'll be there forever.
Oh no, I am talking about the extended cuts too, man. You got to watch them all. By the way, this was the shortest movie, 2 hours and 24 minutes. This was the shortest movie, and it was that long. Remember, freaking the Return of the King was nearly 4 hours long. It's like, damn.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I watched the extended version was like 4 hours long. I was like, I'm not doing this.
Because like the extended edition for the first movie made sense, and the other two is like, okay, no, you don't need that in there. Get rid of that. I haven't even seen the extended version of these movies yet. I've only seen like once each. I don't know what they added to them. They already added a bunch of shit, but again, I'm not complaining. I enjoyed myself. It's Middle Earth. It's Peter Jackson. I'm pretty sure this is the last hurrah, unless they do Silmarillion. And
yeah, which that would be even more difficult.
That's unfilmable. You can't do that, you know.
It's a history lesson. It'd be like watching a friggin' like a Discovery Channel documentary. It's like on the other side of worlds in the seventh blah blah. It's literally like if you ever read the books, if you ever heard read Aragorn. Talking about his past. He's like, I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the seventh wife of the seventh blah blah blah, son of blah blah blah, and this song was sung when I was born. You know, it's like this whole history lesson. Definitely.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like it gets worse, like in that book, because they go in depth with the lineages, right? It's okay when you have elves that live like thousands of years or whatever. When you get to humans, they'll have literally one paragraph of like 10 different kings under one lineage. I'm like, dude, okay, I get it. You don't need to list them all. So you can't film that sort of shit.
He is the 20th king, born under the 7th star.
And then his son was this son, then he bore this, and then he bore... It's like, no, dude. And Tolkien is given to that sort of stuff. Like, even in Lord of the Rings, there was one chapter literally devoted to the fucking lay of the land.
Mm-hmm.
These hills rolled here, and there were trees and birds, and these... It's like, whoa, come on, dude.
Yo, man, call up your editor. Get him to cut up a cut to the chase here.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you won't get that. So I'm pretty sure this is the final Lord, unless like 10 years later, like, hey, we're gonna make up Lord of the Rings stories now. They could technically do it, and if you do it, I wonder. Okay, here I was just about to suggest they do a Shadow of Mordor one day. I realized you can't film that either. That works only in a video game. If you really think about it, like you know, the fact that you have all these different guys and stuff that could be like, it can't be a scene where like, hey Brian, I saw this movie, this was the main villain, and Brian says like, no, in my movie he wasn't like that. You know, you can't have that.
No, they'll just pick
video
one.
game story. Yeah, I wonder if they'll do that. They'll just say, okay, we're gonna do random Middle Earth stories now. They technically could, even though the Tolkien estate probably would be like, no.
No, they're already pretty iffy on these films too, because
they were. I mean, remember with Shadow of Mordor, it's like you can't use any of the book stuff. It's like, why? Why not? It's like, no, don't do it. So they're prickly like that. I don't know. So yeah,
they're prickly like that. But you know what? They're making all that money. There's more money than they've ever seen.
They bitch, but they still take the money. You know, it's crazy. I don't have anything more to say about this movie. I liked it. That's pretty much it.
I did too. I'd like to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm a bit pissed off that I just split into 3 movies, and we had to wait like 3 years for like start to end, which is, come on, it's a bit like, it's fucking dumb. But at the same time, it's more Tolkien, more Middle Earth. You can't really go wrong with that. Like, I love how like dense he makes his universes. It's like one of the few universes that are this dense. The only other one I can think of is the Star Wars universe. Like everything else isn't, like, I know that like Marvel and DC worlds are, but they're comic books, not movies, so I don't know.
Yeah, as far as movies goes, as far as density goes in movies, you don't really get much denser than this. Like, you have to go into TV world to get denser, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but yeah, I know it's good, and I like kind of going back to that thing because I know Brian, you said you didn't like it too much, but I like back in the day when Lord of the Rings were coming out, like every year you get a new awesome Lord of the Rings movie. So it was kind of like that again, another cool Middle Earth movie at the end of the year. So I like kind of going back to that, even though these movies were not as good as the other ones. Because the other ones, we've never seen shit like that before. It's like, okay, whoa, this is cool. We've seen stuff like this already. It's cool, but it's not like, oh my god, this is.
It's almost like an expansion of it, you know, even though that came first. The Hobbit came first.
Exactly. Very interesting. All right, Manny, any final thoughts?
No, I thought the movie was a cool movie. I liked all the films. I mean, I felt maybe the first one was probably the weakest of them, but I mean, I enjoyed them. I'll watch them again. I'll probably pick them up all on DVD. On Blu-ray. But funny, this time I'm not going to do what I did last time, where I bought one of them one at a time.
You're gonna wait.
I'm going to wait for the extended editions to all come out on their little collection thing, and then do it that way.
Yeah, man, that's right. I still got to get the Blu-rays of the Lord of the Rings. I don't know if you can see it.
There's probably going to be a good chance that they'll bring out like the Middle Earth extended edition of all the movies, so all 6 in one go.
That's what I'm thinking of waiting toward.
I'm going to wait for that then.
Because I already have the extended DVD cuts of all the original Lord of the Rings films, so it'd be nice to kind of have it, with that. But have them all together.
It comes with a little statue of Smaug and stuff.
It should come in. I don't know. Maybe it comes in a big Mordor. It comes in Mordor.
It comes in the land of Mordor.
It comes in the land of Mordor.
All right, so that's pretty much it. Got Throwdown coming at you tomorrow, or actually no, you probably would already watch this.
We're pre-recording this, guys.
Yeah, So go check out Throwdown.
Yeah, still no Terminators yet.
Yes. The best thing, I guess.
We're coming back in time and tell you, we got to save Sarah Connor. Her life is in danger.
I guess the best thing to say was, because this would be our last throwdown for this year. So, if you haven't listened to that show, which we don't know what's going to happen on that show, go listen to that show.
We do know what's happening on that show, though. You guys already saw it. It was the best of 2014.
Yes, but we don't know because we're in the past.
I died on that show somehow.
Yes, and then you were resurrected.
We're kind of doing this in advance because we don't want to bombard you guys with a million podcasts. So, I don't know, what are we doing this on?
Saturday.
Yeah. So you know when while you're sitting alone, wrapping your Christmas gifts, you could be listening to spoiler alert after you've seen the movie.
Yes, that's why we're gonna wait. Because you people aren't seeing, like, we're probably the only three dudes that. So there weren't that many people in the movie theater when we went.
No, the movie theater is pretty damn empty. I definitely think it'll be by Friday. That's when it'll start hitting.
Yeah, so I want to hit that point. So that's what we're gonna do.
I went in like after work, and the place that I live in is not that big, but the theater itself was like half packed, so decently sized.
We also went at 3:00.
Yeah.
So 3:00, people are still at work. Probably kids are getting out of school. But 3:00 in the afternoon, there wasn't anybody in there. It was nice and clean.
Technically 3:25 because the 2:55 was 3D, and me and Manny don't like 3D.
No,
so
we don't watch no 3D.
Fuck that shit, man.
Watch it in 60 frames.
40, yeah, forget that. All right, people, thank you for watching. Spoiler, I don't know what the next spoiler is going to be. It's going to be something or other.
Yeah, this is
we don't know what the next one will be.
This is an impromptu spoiler, but it is good that we had a spoiler alert before the end of the year, which is great.
Yes. Wait, Brian, what's the next spoiler alert then?
You don't know?
No, I don't.
We don't know. Really? No?
No, I don't. It can't be It's got to be something before Avengers.
There's nothing before Avengers. It's Ultron. Like, what? Avengers is May. There's got
to be some before that.
The Dawn of Justice is like after that. And
there's got to be a movie or two before that, man.
No, as far as I know, Avengers is like the next superhero one, unless there's Fast and Furious, but you guys don't care.
I don't know. If me and Manny go see Mad Max, then we'll do something for that.
We'll see
Mad Max looks cool, man.
We're going to see Fury Road. I'm sure.
Chris is going to go see that shit too, man.
Oh, yeah. We're all going to go see that.
Dude, that looks good. I want to see that.
Anyway, next guaranteed one is going to be like Ultron. That's pretty much guaranteed.
We need to start doing video game spoilers to keep the shit semi-regular. Goddamn.
Why not? I mean, you done played a bunch of games. You done played Shadow of Mordor. Why didn't you do a spoiler for that?
Well, we kind of did it on Throwdown.
All right.
All right, guys. So we'll see you next time. Hopefully before May.
Yes.
All right. Oh, yeah. Follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Twitter. All that stuff is below. I would rattle it, but I don't have my show notes because no show notes for these.
Yep.
Fuck. All right, guys. All right, guys. Tony Polanco once again, and I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
The Lord of the Rings will come.
And Brian Munjoma.
I like how Gandalf just walked off the scene at the end. Like, where's he going?
Like, listen, there's the border here. I can't. They're looking for me, man. I can't be here right now. I'll leave you be.
They won't let me over the border, and you won't see me for about 50 years. And when you're having your 111th birthday.
Yeah, that's when he shows up again. All right, guys. Happy New Year and all that stuff. We'll see you in 2015. Later.
Later, guys.
Later, people.